I'm going to share something very important with you about police and traffic enforcement. I wouldn't call this a secret, but it might as well be because of how few people actually know about this. This has to do with police pulling people over for speeding, running red lights, stop signs, you name it. I'm also going to add that this is probably one of my most important videos about traffic enforcement that I've ever made. It's going to surprise a few of you and maybe shock some of you. I post a lot of these short educational clips, and whenever I do, people get so worked up in the comments. And you know what? Every now and then I clap back at them and tell them to use their head and think outside the box. Here's an example of some of them. Serious question here. If you don't stop at a red light, what's the fine?
$325, 3 demerit points.
Listen, I just read that you gave out 3 cell phone tickets at a red light.
That's right.
Another serious question regarding the red lights, okay? I approach an intersection, I want to make a right-hand turn at a red light. There's no cars around. What do I got to do?
Still have to make a complete stop.
Cell phone tickets. What's the 3 most common excuses people give? Hey, listen, do you guys record all your vehicle stops?
Yes, we do.
What's that right there?
It's a body-worn camera. All Toronto police officers are equipped with one.
Audio and visual records?
Yes.
The amount of hateful comments and messages I've received over the years is truly incredible. Thousands and thousands. And, you know, a lot of them say the same thing. They repeat themselves. They call police road pirates. They accuse police of having nothing better to do. And they say that traffic enforcement, and more specifically speed enforcement, is just another form of taxation. And I'm going to read you a few more here, okay, that are very, very common. Why don't you go catch real criminals? Why don't you focus on the increased vehicle thefts, which seem to be taking place across the country? Basically, go do some real police work. I'm going to share a little secret with you, okay? People who break the law, and I'm talking about hard criminals here, people who commit theft over, robbery, assault with a weapon, they're putting people in the hospital, they carry firearms, are hardcore drug dealers responsible for, getting our kids hooked on all kinds of different things. People wanted on warrants. People who break the law and they don't follow the laws, they usually don't follow any of the laws, and that includes traffic laws. And you know who else doesn't seem to follow the traffic laws? People who steal cars. They commit vehicle theft. Do you see what I'm getting at here? You wouldn't believe how many people have been arrested for the crimes that I mentioned because they were caught speeding, running red lights, drawing attention to themselves for not wearing the seatbelts, you name it, and especially driving in a stolen vehicle. You hear about these things on the news all the time. Police pull somebody over because of a traffic violation. Next thing you know, they retrieve a loaded firearm, a bunch of drugs. They made an arrest, somebody who was wanted on a warrant. And that was not the reason for the initial vehicle stop. Yesterday, in a town very close to me, just outside Toronto, there was an arrest made. Police pulled over a vehicle for speeding. They were following a vehicle. The vehicle came back as stolen. 2 arrests were made. This happens every day, it seems. Years ago, I was with my partner. Towards the end of our shift, we were heading back to the station, running some plates because that's what you do. And there was a vehicle that came back as stolen. We didn't know if the person knew that we were onto them or not. They kind of pulled over into a lot. The driver took off. The passenger, an arrest was made. The vehicle was in fact stolen, and there was all kinds of stolen property within the vehicle. And I got to say, this was pure fluke. Okay, I'm going to share a story with you, okay? It's embarrassing to me, kind of, but it wasn't my fault. Years ago, it was late at night. I pulled a vehicle over, came around the corner flying and was speeding, pulled over, spoke to the person. Everything seemed fine. I didn't even give a ticket, left a warning, but I put it in the system because that's what we do. The next day, I came to work. While I had this person pulled over, another unit was executing a warrant on this person's residence, and this person was wanted. But there was nothing in the system, absolutely nothing in the system yet. That came after. So I just had to go through the details of the investigation. It all worked out fine. I didn't do anything wrong, but it's still just kind of embarrassing. Anyways, these things happen. Some of the best arrests out there have happened because of traffic enforcement. Pulling somebody over, the breaking the conditions, wanted on a warrant, you name it. So back to the comments about police not want to do anything about the stolen vehicles. Well, what better way is there than to have traffic enforcement officers or any police officer on their downtime monitoring the streets, checking vehicles, running plates? Now, I can't ignore the fact that crime prevention initiatives would be best, okay? So basically preventing the crime from taking place before it happens. Because once it happens, it uses all kinds of resources, costs money, costs the taxpayer money. And I mean, don't even get me started on the system now, which seems to, You know, you catch a lot of these folks with the stolen vehicles, for example, and they are let out not even the next day, but the same day. They receive little or no punishment whatsoever, and they're free just to commit the same crime over and over again. It drives the police crazy. It's not their fault, and that's a topic for another video. Here's another clip. It's only a few seconds long, but pay attention.
Traffic crimes cost society more, devastate more Canadian families, and inflict more physical insult than all other crimes combined.
I hope you understand what he's saying there. The amount of people who have lost their lives, innocent children, family members, passengers of the vehicle, people walking on the sidewalk that have lost their lives because some folks just completely have a disregard for the traffic laws. And that's why traffic enforcement is important, and I will never be convinced otherwise. Ask anybody who has worked in emergency services, who have attended these calls, and they will tell you absolutely, without a doubt, traffic enforcement is very, very important, and it's also part of a police officer's job. Those who break laws and have no regard for human life whatsoever seem to break all the laws, even laws which may seem completely insignificant to you as a minor traffic violation. So after this video, does this change your view of traffic enforcement even a bit? I would love to know. Listen, folks, if you find my content helpful or entertaining, useful at all, please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel. It helps me at least point me in the right direction. I know what's working out there and what isn't. Listen, folks, thank you very, very much for paying attention. And until the next video, be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.